welcome to another What's the Watch of the Week. I'm Gigi, and thank you for joining, if anybody's watching. And we're live. Hopefully you can hear me all. What are we going to talk about today? What's the Watch of the Week? Not every week, unfortunately. I can only do this when somebody has enough faith in to lend me a watch, hoping to get it back. And about that, I really have to give out a shout out to Grimoldi Watches in Milan, because they are the shop that lent me the watch. They're very nice guys, Giorgio, Roberto, and Cesare. I really encourage you, if you are in Milan, to go and check out their store. They're really nice guys. They love talking about watches. But if you can't come to Milan, they also sell online. They have an incredible website, and they sell most of the brands except for like Rolex and the Swatch Group. They've got everything else. Casio, Oris, Bell & Ross, Doxa, Seiko, you name it, they've got it. They've got also quite expensive brands like Chapek and the Parmigiani Fleurier. They've got Frédéric Constant. They've got, they've got a whole load of Zodiac. So if you're into the kind of, independent brand kind of watches, except for Seiko, of course, check their website out, because they do ship worldwide, and it's just check them out, really. They deserve it. So today, the watch, they're not sponsoring this video in any way. They lent me the watch. I can say pretty much anything I want about it. And so why don't we tuck in and have a look at what we are watching today. And here it is. This is the Seiko Shogun. And to be honest, I didn't even know the Shogun was a thing. I admit my ignorance in this. So I was pretty surprised when I turned up to the Grimoldi store, saw this in the window case, and said, what's that? It looks a bit like a samurai, but maybe it's just a bit more refined. So I got some info, and I asked Giorgio if he could lend it to me, and here it is for all of you and me to have a look at. Now, this is a higher end Seiko. It's not one of those, even though it does have a bare resemblance to the samurai, it's really not unrelated in any way. This, first of all, I'll just read some spec sheets off. Read it off spec sheets. This is the, let's just get the reference number right. SPB189J1. Terrible name. And first and foremost, this watch comes normally on a metal, actually, or titanium bracelet. This whole watch is made of titanium. Unfortunately, they had sold the titanium bracelet to somebody else, so this black dial version usually comes with titanium. The white dial version comes with a strap, the rubber strap, and they switched it out. So this is a kind of hybrid. To be honest, I think it looks a whole lot better on the black dial with the rubber strap. Looks a whole lot better to me than the titanium bracelet, but your mileage may vary. Other info on this watch, caliber number 6R35, which is one of the mid-range Seiko movements, automatic, manual winding, hacking, etc., etc. Accuracy 25 plus 25 to minus 15 seconds a day, 70-hour power reserve. Now the case is made of titanium with a titanium bezel, titanium crown, screw down crown, and it has one of the Seiko's super hard coating, they call it, the die shield coating, which should prevent to a degree, I think, some of the minor scratches. Now the case finishing is a very, very fine brushing all around. Lumibrite on the hands, of course, and it weighs, now the spec sheet has it at 121 grams, but I believe that is with the titanium bracelet. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that on the rubber strap. It's probably a hell of a lot lighter. And, well, it is pretty light. Honestly, I probably think that the rubber strap is probably more... It's heavier than the watch head. Colors. Now, this has a pretty interesting color scheme. But a black dial and this kind of silver grayish bezel with a black and silver, which I think is one of the highlights of I really like these less flashy divers without those garish colors. It does give the watch a sort of a dressier, smarter look than the usual diver. And what else we got? We've got a Cyclops. We have a color match date wheel. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and just zoom in. There we go. Let's get a little closer. It has a color matched with a black date wheel with that Cyclops right on top, which is I don't think the Cyclops has much anti-reflective coating on it. It is picking up my lights a lot, but the watch sapphire crystal has anti-reflective undercoating, so that will help a lot with reflections. Let's see if I can move it around a bit to give you an idea. It does do a good job of getting rid of pesky reflections. So there we go. Other specs, usual stuff. Screw down case back, 200 meters of water resistance, blah, blah, blah. Usual Seiko Prospect stuff. I think the hands are quite interesting. Let's have a look. Now, it's a mix of styles there. We have a traffic light second hand, and we have a Dauphine minute hand, and a kind of arrowhead hour hand. So this kind of mix, I think it gives it a very distinctive look. The hour markers are similar to the Seiko Samurai, at least as far as I remember it. And then they seem applied, but to be honest, they're not very pronounced. They're not very thick. They're quite thin as dive hour indices go. I would have preferred them to be a bit chunkier, but they're not. And we have drilled lugs for easy strap changing. And the crown, of course, Seiko couldn't be asked to sign it, given the price of this watch, which is on the rubber strap in the region of 1,300 euros, which I think is, it's a pretty price to pay for a watch like this. Granted, it's titanium and all that, but I think you can get a titanium watch from other brands. Maybe not even micro brands for a lot lower price, but then again, this is Seiko. They have to mark up and mark up. So what do I like about this watch? I just like the way just things come together on it. The style is like I said, not flashy at all. This could with the gray bezel and the black dial do give it a stylish appearance. I like that a lot. But of course, the rubber strap, this could easily go, I think, on a leather strap, a smarter strap, to give it a bit more, to make it a bit smarter, a bit classier. Not a dress watch, of course. The thickness, so thickness is 13.3, which is kind of midway. It's not extremely thick. Diameter 43.5, so it is quite large, but lug to lug is 51, so it's not extremely, it doesn't have an extremely large lug to lug. Lug width is 20, sorry. Okie dokie. So what do we have to look at now? I think this watch deserves a lume shot, don't you? So let's get all the lights off and see what it has to give. And off. Okay, it's pretty impressive. Well done to Seiko for lume. I mean, Seiko lume is great. We all know that. and Lumi Bright, this kind of bluish version of Lumi Bright, it reminds me a lot of BGW9 actually. So it's pretty darn impressive there. I mean, the room isn't completely dark, and I haven't yanked up the exposure on my camera. So this is pretty darn good, taking everything into account. This will last all night. No problems whatsoever on that front. Let's get the lights back on. Hopefully. There we go. And there it is. So, impressions. I think that I'm a bit of a Seiko nut, so I like it. I'm not sure, though, I would spend in the region of 1,300 euros, dollars, pounds for this watch. I don't think I would. I think Seiko should have, as with all their watches, maybe given something else, something more, or, I mean, at least a signed crown, for cripes, for Lord's sake. I mean, put an S on it. I mean, you don't want people modding the watch. And quality control. Of course, as you can see, the bezel is not perfectly aligned. I think the chapter ring is aligned. Let's just see if the chapter ring and the 12 o'clock hour index is aligned. Probably is, but the bezel is slightly off to the left. So that was a big disappointment. But then again, you know how the saying goes, if the bezel is aligned, it's probably a fake Seiko. So I'm afraid I've lost all hope there on Seiko quality control. But the rest of the watch is very well finished. The bezel click isn't particularly satisfying. It's a bit... It's a good movement, but the sound is a bit, cheapish. And yeah, it's not particularly tight either. Maybe just a tad of back play there. So 1 thumb up for the Seiko. It would have been 2 thumbs up if the price was about 300 euros lower. I would probably be more attractive. Otherwise, this watch is for the Die Hard Seiko fan who wants the Shogun, who wants titanium Seiko. But apart from that, apart from the price and the minor imperfections, I can't fault it. But then again, like I said, Die Hard Seiko fans, this is the watch for you. Let's see if there's anybody has any questions. I doubt it, because nope. Sorry. Okay, so that was me. That's all I have for you. This has been Gigi at Time to Talk Watches, and I'm signing off. See you on the next one.